everybody. Happy Friday. Thought I would jump in today and do another product discussion with you. Last night I was laying in bed sort of thinking about what I wanted to discuss today, and I realized that we've had the wrist wraps on our website for a while now, but I haven't really done much to promote them. And those of you out there that are just dancers, if you've never been in the weightlifting world, you may not have any clue how these can help you be a better dancer. So if you've read any of the blogs or anything I say, my other life is as a power lifter. One time, my best meet ever, I did a 402 squat, a 185 bench, and a 416 deadlift for a little over 1,000 pound total. That year, Hugh Jackman had competed in his first powerlifting competition, and he had totaled over 1,000 pounds, and so I wanted to beat Hugh, and I did. The one thing I did not get in that meet was a 200-pound bench press, so I'm still striving for that. Hopefully this year or next year, I will reach that milestone as well. But in powerlifting, we used wrist wraps for most everything, but the bench and the squat specifically, because when you're holding the bar in both of those exercises, you don't want your wrist to break. And I don't mean break, like got to go to the hospital now and get a cast. I mean break like that. So when you're bench pressing and your arms under the bar, you want your wrist to be very tight and to stay vertical. Squatting is the same. The minute your wrist breaks, the bar rolls kind of down your back and it's really hard to get it back. So if your wrists aren't strong, or if you're lifting super heavy weight and you just need that little bit of support on your wrists, or as I like to say, shave off just a little bit of anxiety, we put on wrist wraps. I never thought to use them in dance until we brought the ankle protectors on. And I had promoted the ankle protectors one day, and I had a young lady DM me and say, "Those look great, but what do you have for my wrists?" And in talking with her, she had just done a class a couple of weeks prior, was learning some new skill, and it lit up her forearms and her wrists. And so for 3 weeks, she didn't feel like she could do anything on the pole because her wrists hurt so badly. And I remembered back when I was first starting, I think it was just a jasmine and then working on a bird's nest. And so you had that trigger grip, and that grip would light up my wrist and forearm so badly that I also couldn't do pole for a week or two. And you're not certain that your wrist has what it takes in that moment. The wrist wraps, they wrap around your wrist and they give it a little bit more stability. So that's the first time to use it, is if you know going into a trick that your wrists are sort of iffy and you want to make sure that they are strong. Along those same lines, if you've been trying a trick and you want to be able to get a couple more attempts at it, but you know your wrists are failing, that's a perfect time to put on your wrist wraps and give yourself a couple of more attempts at that trick. Because the nerd in me, strength is time under tension. So the amount of time you spend doing the trick is what's going to lead you to perfect that trick. And if you have to stop because your wrists hurt, then you're not getting that time under tension. Put on your wrist wraps, you get 2 or 3 more attempts at it, and your brain's working a little bit more to program that trick. So that's one way to use the wrist wraps. It's also good if you're a beginner. A lot of beginners you get just weird pains, and it'll keep you from training for a week or two. So if you've got a beginner in your class, if you know you're a beginner, these are great to just have. If you're more advanced, one of the questions I get is, do they get in the way? And I've practiced with them a lot. They don't get in my way, and the people that have bought them have not had that complaint. So yes, it's something a little bit bulkier on your wrist, but it doesn't seem to get in the way of anything that I do while on the pole. Another way to use them is if you've done your practice, say on a Wednesday, and you wake up Friday and it's time to practice again, but your wrists and forearms are just really sore. You're like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. You can. You just pull out your wrist wraps and you just wrap your wrists for the entire practice. It's not going to take all of the pain away, but I think you'll find that when you stabilize your wrist, makes it a lot easier to do the practice. So if your wrist is sore and you go to practice, you're going to be so worried about your wrist, you're not going to get a good practice. But if you can stabilize it, you're going to be less worried about it. You'll be able to continue your practice. And then the last way I like to use them is after everything's all done and I'm home, if my forearms and my wrists are just screaming at me, nothing will work, I'll use them as a light compression wrap. So I'm going to show you how to use that as well. If you've never used compression, we do sell a legitimate compression wrap band, and I'll do one of these with that as well. But to make this do double duty, even though it's on the shorter end, you can use it as a compression wrapping, and I'll do it and wrap just like this part of my arm with it, and it'll give me relief. I can watch TV and have the compression on for 5 or 10 minutes and then take it off, and it'll give me relief. So now, how to put them on. If you see, there's a thumb loop. So you put your thumb through the thumb loop, pull it tight, and just wrap it around. And then there's Velcro. So you just Velcro it. Voila! Hohe Apparel wrist wrap. So that's how you would use it to just do your practice. And then you take the thumb loop off. If it gets in your way, you can tuck it in. You can leave it on, or you can just let it dangle. Whatever makes it not get in your way. So that's basic wrist wrap. If you want to use it for compression, again, you put it on the thumb and you just wrap it lower. And you just wrap it as tight as you can. And then you just sit 5 or 10 minutes. And you can wrap high, you can wrap low. It's not going to get a whole lot, but it will give you a little bit of compression. If your studio has you do that forearm compression where you put it like that behind your leg, you're usually not standing when you do it. It's similar, but you don't have to get twisted all up and put it under your leg. So these are the Hohe Apparel wrist wraps. They're 12 inches, so it's not a lot wrapped around your arm. We have a medium and a strong. Most of you are going to be a medium, so if you don't know what to get, just get a medium. It's plenty strong enough. The strong, if you really know this is what you need and you know you need a lot of help, go for the strong. But for most of you, the medium is going to be just fine. And I'm sorry, it blends in with my shirt, so you can't really see. There you go. Now you can see it. So they're on the website. They're not expensive. I think, I'm really bad at this, $15.99, $16.99, something like that. And they'll last a lifetime. I have wrist wraps in my gym that I've had for 20 plus years. They just don't wear out. And they'll wear out less in pull because you're not using them quite as often as you are in weightlifting. So there you go. The wrist wraps. Check them out. While I've got you, I also want to show off our t-shirt. It's the No Hassle, All Hustle t-shirt. It's my favorite boxy crop that we sell. It is my homage to Nipsey Hussle. You can see I'm old and I don't always keep up with music trends like I should. And when Nip died, I had never heard of him. But when he died and everybody was talking about what an amazing man he was, I thought maybe I should get to know him. So I think a year after he died, they published his biography. And I listened to it, and he really was quite an amazing gentleman. Another one of those that, had he not died, I think he really would have done some fabulous things for this country. If you don't know about him, or if you just know his music and you don't know about him as a man, I suggest you find his biography because it's really amazing. But one of the things that he promoted to all of the people that worked for him and his friends was kind of the all money in concept, which was we make the money and then we don't spend the money on frivolous shit. So you make your money and you invest it. You invest it like in the stock market so it makes more money, but you also invest it in yourself, in your friends, in your family. Like you keep it in. And as I was just thinking about him, this slogan came to mind, sort of no hassle, all hustle, right? If you live your life that way and you get rid of all the shit that's a hassle and you just put that aside and you just focus on your hustle, especially on the pole or lyra or silks or whatever it is, then you're going to have a pretty good life plan. So the Boxy Crop, the No Hassle, All Hustle, it's also on our website. The Hoe Apparel wrist wraps on our website. If you decide you want either of them, let me know when you get them. Let me know what you think. Tag us. We just reposted a lovely picture today of a young lady wearing our Boxy, our muscle tank top, our crop tank top. She looks so cute. So hit me up. Maybe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.